Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Nihongo Master podcast. It's your host Azra, coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. As part of this season's theme of festivals, we're zooming into school festivals for this season's episode. Like we mentioned in our earlier episodes, Japan is full of events and celebrations all year round. We covered a few basics and looked at the overall picture in the first episode, but today, we're zooming into the early stages of Japanese festivals, the ones at school. In every level of Japanese school, they take every opportunity they can get to organize some sort of festivity. And today we'll take a look at some of the biggest celebrations in Japanese schools, whether it's elementary school, high school, or university. Actually, when you think about it, they have pretty much the same festivals. We're breaking it down into 3 sections: Oshiki, Unokai, and Bunkasai. Right, we'll explain those later. So let's jump right into it. So as we said, our first part is Oshiki. This translates from Japanese to mean ceremony. Ceremonies are deeply embedded in the culture as it plays a pretty essential role in their customs. Just to name drop a few, there's the tea ceremony, coming of age ceremony, New Year ceremony, the list goes on. It extends past the universal celebrations like weddings and religious rituals. In school, the importance of Oshiki is already pretty visible, so they start this practice pretty young, I'd say. At the start of every semester, there's the Shigyo-shiki, opening ceremony. And at the end of every semester, there's the Shuryo-shiki, closing ceremony. The opening ceremony consists of a speech, some singing like the national anthem, and bowing. This is also when they reveal which teacher is assigned to which class. In Japan, students stay in their class and teachers move around for their subjects, except for certain subjects like art, PE, and home ec. The closing ceremony is pretty similar to the opening ceremony. The students gather in the school gym, the principal gives a speech, we all sing the national anthem, and then you get the student affairs chief, Kyomu Shunin in Japanese, barking at students, telling them to behave themselves. Oh, this happens during the opening ceremony too. After both ceremonies, they go back to their classrooms and get their tsuchihyo, or report card. There's also the Nyugakushiki, the pretty important one, I'd say. This is the entrance ceremony to welcome the new first years, and parents are welcome to attend. This happens at the start of the school year in April, after the opening ceremony, and is more formal than the standard opening and closing ceremonies. Names are being read aloud to welcome each student into the school, performances, usually singing by the upperclassmen to the new kids, and a long speech. And then we have the graduation ceremony, Sotsugyō-shiki. Just like the entrance ceremony, this happens once a year, in March. Graduating levels moving on to the next school celebrate their accomplishments and say their farewells. Speeches are involved, of course. Then, depending on the level, you get your certificate handed to you one by one on stage. Then there's the unison singing by the students. Before the end of it all, students from any level can read out messages for one another on stage. And at the end, pictures are taken, farewells are given, applauses are heard. Then they all leave. Oh, parents usually attend this one too. So every step of the way in school, you're given the opportunity to celebrate. Why not, right? Here's a quick vocab recap. Oshiki, ceremony. Shigyo-shiki, opening ceremony. Shuryo-shiki, closing ceremony. Kyomu Shunin, student affairs chief. Tsuchihyo, report card. Nyugakushiki, entrance ceremony. Sotsugyō-shiki, graduation ceremony. Our next school festival is the second most festive one in the school year, Unokai. This means sports day. Students prepare more than a month in advance for this event. From scheduling extra sessions of practice to after-school training every day, Japanese students take this very seriously. Unokai focuses on team effort and teaches students the importance of working together and teamwork. There are various types of sport races held during an Unokai. In fact, during the pandemic, there are special corona-friendly sports where social distancing is practiced. I'm talking about tsunahiki, tug-of-war, but make it spaced out, or captain's ball without the physical interaction. Sounds weird, but I won't get into that. A usual Unokai starts off with an assembly at the schoolyard, for speeches of course. Then you get some sort of performance before going to the first race of the day. Usually it's the relay race. We all love a good relay, but it differs from school to school. One thing that's common though is the oendan or cheer squad for the team. Students shout gambare for each other or fighting to encourage the team. Before the closing ceremony, there's usually the otama okuri, the big ball pass on. This usually involves the whole school. Each team has to get a ball down the line of people and onto a stand before the other teams. Because it's such a big event, parents are invited to watch and support their kids. Oftentimes, they prepare bentos for them and a lot of Pocari sweat, which is like a sports hydrating drink, to beat the summer heat. Here's a quick vocab recap. Unokai, sports day. Undo means exercise. Tsunahiki, tug of war. Gambare, slang for gambatte, to mean you can do it. Oendan, cheer squad. Otama okuri, the big ball pass on. Bento, lunchbox. By the way, if you haven't checked out our official website yet, why not give it a browse? At Nihongo Master, we offer efficient Japanese lessons that are quick, easy, and fun for Japanese language learners of all levels, from beginners to advanced. Our smart tools will assist you in areas where you need a little bit of a push and congratulate you on the ones you've aced. With a community of over 50,000 Japanese students, you're not alone on your learning journey. Make new friends and improve together with our point system, collecting points as you go along. Ask away any questions you have on our group discussion pages. There's sure to be others as well as our Japanese instructors that are quick to answer. You can also take Nihongo Master with you on the go and learn Japanese as you trot the globe. Practical, right? Last but not least, the biggest festival in Japanese schools is Bunkasai. While it translates to cultural festival, it's a rather simplistic way to put it. It's more than just culture. It's the way for the school and its students to showcase the best qualities and personality through what they've learned during the school year. Usually, on a weekend, Bunkasai can be 1 or 2 days and falls in early November. Sometimes it's called Bunka no Hi, Culture Day. It's like a school version of a local matsuri, festival. There are tents and stalls for games and food, just like a yatai. The exact nature of what goes on at the Bunkasai can vary depending on the school. Some schools are more arts focused, so it kind of turns into a gallery. Some schools are focused on performing arts, so you get singing, dancing, and constant choreographed concerts. In university, however, Bunkasai is not as big because it's not compulsory. University Bunkasai is also known as Daigakusai, less fun, smaller, and just a tad more serious. Anyway, regardless of what goes on, the one thing in common is that the preparation, or junbi, that goes into it is crazy. They go months in advance. I'd say right after sports day, they go straight into getting ready for Bunkasai. Classes coordinate t-shirts and acts, and teachers are involved too. If you're an ALT, assistant language teacher, or planning to work as one, you'll be able to experience this festival and its preparation too. When I was teaching English at an eikaiwa, some of my teenage students would complain about how much time they spent for this preparation. But I think it's great. You're dedicating a lot of effort to showcasing your skills and your school's pride. It's a great skill to have when you go into the work life. You should be proud of your work and your company. Here's a quick vocab recap. Bunkasai, Culture Festival. Bunka no Hi, Culture Day. Matsuri, Festival. Yatai, Food Stall. Junbi, Preparation. Eikaiwa, English Conversational School, usually 1-to-1. Japanese school festivals are great, in my opinion, because the students are being taught skills and mannerisms are pretty significant in adult life. And hey, making skill learning into a matsuri is never a bad thing. Does your school have similar festivals? Let us know by commenting on social media platforms. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, head over to Nihongo Master blog if you're interested in reading up on topics like these some more. And if you're keen on picking up some more Japanese for yourself, pop onto our official website, nihongomaster.com, to learn more. While you're at it, why not get yourself a subscription? Get a head start on your Nihongo journey with Nihongo Master. And thank you so much for listening in. Join me in the next one. We'll be walking down the avenue of Japan's rich matsuri culture. Mata ne!